welcome to another Happy Pod, the only podcast in the world that is covering Indiana Jones right now, maybe, but also maybe not. Anyway, my name is Nathan. As always, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, the Short Round to my Indiana, the Phoebe Waller-Bridge to my Indiana, the John Rhys Davies to my Indiana. It is, of course, Lawrence Thomas Heisey. Hello.
I liked how we deviated between character name and actor name there. That was fun.
Sure.
What? Who else would I have been? I would have been who was the screaming woman? What was it? Willie was her name.
No, you were Short Round. You already had one for that movie.
Oh, yeah, okay. You didn't name Marion.
You're not my Marion.
Please.
No.
Come here, Nathan. Give us a kiss.
You could be my Mutt Williams.
Oh, no. No.
The Mutt Williams to my Indiana.
Oh, great. I'm well. How are you? How are you doing?
I am also well. We're recording this earlier than we've
Yes.
ever recorded another Happy Pod, because in the last episode I said, oh, you know what, I'm going to watch the next one tonight, because I hadn't seen it yet. I hadn't seen the Dallas of Satan. I was excited. I'm like, I'm going to watch it tonight. And then I was like, no, I'm not. That's stupid. So,
Yeah.
But you know what? I watched it.
Yeah, it was quite a quick turnaround. I woke up the next morning to a text from you at like 2 a.m. saying, I have now seen all of the Indiana Jones movies.
It's true. I've completed the set.
Yeah.
So I thought, let's capitalize on this. Let's record straight away.
I remember you saying something to the effect of like, oh, I can always watch it again. But in reality, what happened is you went, can we just record earlier, please?
Yeah, I have nothing against watching it again. I'll happily watch it again. But it was more so the fact that I
sizzle?
wanted to talk about stuff.
Sizzle to your thoughts, maybe.
Perhaps not. We shall see.
Well, I didn't say this, but Nathan, this is the show where each week we get together to discuss something in the realm of pop culture. It could be a movie, could be a telly show, could be a game, but we do so without any of the toxic stuff. It's Indiana Jones. We're doing all of the Indiana Jones movies. And
It's the last day of Indiana Jones.
I know.
Rest in
I'm
peace,
sad
Indiana
that it's come
Jones.
to a close.
Me too. Let's keep going. Let's do the the Young Adventures of Indiana July or whatever.
Yeah, I like that we go with it. Are we going to have to do this for every month as well?
You sure? Yeah.
Okay. I literally just come off of the back of watching this, right? Like, I'm so eager because I've wanted to know where you stood with this movie for about a year.
Yeah. Can we start with your general thoughts?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then
You
we'll
worried about me blending in? You worried about me assimilating?
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to do a podcast with no filthy casual over here.
Okay. So, well, of course, yeah. All right. I quite like this. I really like this. I think it got a bad rap when it came out. People were buying into a lot of the whole, like, oh, Disney flop, because it did make zero money. But I quite like this. When I think about how bad this could have been, in that the director that had handled all 4 of them previous didn't return. Harrison Ford is also like 80. And this is an action-adventure movie. So there's quite a few things already stacked against it. But I think while it is missing some magic, it's a really good finale to the whole saga, I think. I like concepts in it. I think there's they deal with getting older and legacy. There's not this... I was worried there was going to be this kind of big focus on trying to pass the torch forward, maybe get an Indiana Jones franchise going without Harrison Ford, and there's seemingly none of that, which is nice. I like to see that, so it feels respectful. It definitely feels more static than I wanted it to be. Like I said, it's missing some Spielberg action and some Spielberg the magic touch, but ultimately I really like it. I had a good time, and I think there's loads of interesting shit in this.
Hot take, Spielberg is missing the magic touch.
Okay, what do you mean?
I've seen Ready Player One.
So would you just get over Ready Player One? I've also seen it, and it sucks.
Movie. It's a bad movie, Lawrence. Fucking awful.
I feel like we recorded an episode on Ready Player One and we lost it, right? So we never could release it. And I feel like in Nathan's moaning about Ready Player One, we may as well have just had an episode on it out of those little snippets.
It's a bad movie. You cast Olivia Cook as the most uglier woman in the world, Lawrence.
You've said this about 3 weeks running. Get over it.
I won't.
It's awful, I know.
I refuse. It's a bad movie.
Okay.
Dial of Destiny. Look, it's great. I had a really good time.
It is good. Yeah.
I had fucking fun. I was going into this because I'd heard people oh, I don't know, I'm not sure, whatever. Is it? Well, I've heard mixed things basically, and so
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting anything like exciting or great, to be honest. But no, I had a really fucking fun time with this. I thought Harrison Ford was great. He wasn't just like, yeah, sure, pay me $4 million and I'll do the movie. No, he was he was actually having fun. He was Harrison Ford. He was getting back into Indiana Jones. I was surprised at quite a bit of it. I was surprised at the way things turned out. There's some stuff which is, yeah, a little rocky here and there, but I think overall it's a good fun time. I had a lot of fun with this movie, and I do think it is also a good full stop on Indiana Jones as well. I do think it's a good ending and a good wrap up and a good final chapter for the character as well, really.
They take him full circle. They take him back to like everything that's familiar to him, right? They literally...
Oh boy, do they take him back.
Yeah, yeah. This is what I'm saying, right? By the end of this movie, there isn't another adventure I want to see him go. I feel like I've seen all of his adventures.
There's no more adventures to be had. Except the grand adventure of life.
Oh, very nice. And marriage, Nathan.
And marriage.
A journey, to be sure.
No spoilers.
No, look, I had the same reaction as you, right? Because I first saw this and I came out and I was like, this is the movie everyone's crying about? I had a good time.
It was great, yeah. It was a lot of fun.
There are rocky points. I think it's too long. I think
It is a bit long, yeah. All the Indiana Jones movies are like coming at about 2 hours pretty much on the dot. And then this one is like fucking 2 hours 40. And you do feel it at moments. You're like, bloody hell, this does go on a bit. But like, I think it's fine.
I think it's fun too. I think the only reason you feel it is because the character arc of Indiana Jones in this, right? Which is, you know, when you're dealing with an 80-year-old action star,
yeah,
you've got to make the characterization interesting. Because I'm not here to see him run. Like I could run better than this man, and I'm out of shape, right? Like, for me, there is this part that the length only feels like a problem because it starts and it's like we're really focused in on this character, right? This kind of man out of time and like obsessed with the past. His life hasn't ended where he wanted it to, and he's obsessed with his glory days kind of thing. And then at the end, they deal with the resolution to that arc. But then in the middle, there's a whole lot of him just not growing or expanding in any way. And it's a lot of like, there's a lot of conversations where like Phoebe Waller-Bridge, I'm like, this would be a great point for them to start talking about the past and their relationship. But instead she's like, come here, short round version 2. I want to talk to you. And I'm like, fuck off. It is very short round
version 2.
Yeah. Which is weird because he's a man. He's an adult.
He's not an adult.
Right, but
he's not as young as Short Round, but he's not an adult. He's clearly a little boy.
He's got like a little bit of a moustache. He's got like a bit of bum fluff. I would pass him as like 15, 16.
Yeah, I'd say 15, but that's not an adult. That is a little boy.
I guess, yeah. All right, so what do you... Well, all right, we always start with the opening first, because that makes sense.
Yeah.
Elephant in the room, the big 75 million elephant in the room. Harrison Ford is not in his 40s.
No, he's not. Frankly, I don't care because I love this opening.
It's so good.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun. It's just, I'm transported back to just a fun Indiana romp, you know? Just a fun Indiana. He's going up against Nazis. He's got to steal a thing. There's a whole train heist sequence, and he's getting into classic hijinks along the way. Like, he walks into a room and there's, Nazis, I don't speak German. Do I speak German? I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. He speaks every other fucking language, but maybe he doesn't speak German. So just stay silent and then grab the fucking thing and walk out of there. And then you're like, oh, wait, well, you got a fucking bullet hole in your back there, buddy. What's going on?
Yeah.
What's going on? It's good. I like it, man. It's good. Look, sure, there are moments where you're like, that is a cartoon man, okay? but I think for the most part, and especially when it's like at a distance or it's a bit dark, I think it's fine for the most part.
Yeah, there's a reason this is a foggy nighttime sequence.
Yes, yeah.
But right.
It's not the best de-aging I've ever seen, I'll say that. It is definitely noticeable in parts, but then there's other times where it's like, fuck, that looks... Like, I feel like when it's still, it looks good. But when it's like in motion a bit, it does get a bit rubbery a little bit.
I completely agree, right? Because they wanted to show it off, right? They bring him in with a bag over his head.
Yeah.
And then the reveal is supposed to be, it's Indiana Jones in his prime. Yeah. Here he is.
It is a bit funny that he goes, it's Indiana Jones in his prime, and then he opens his mouth. You're like, oh no, it's not. No,
that's a gravelly 80-year-old man. That is
an 80-year-old man talking into a microphone. That's what that is.
Or when he's laying down and he's like strapped to a chair and he's fairly still. I'm like, wow, that's Indiana Jones in his prime.
Yeah.
And then he gets up and runs, and I'm like, that's an 80-year-old man running. But also, right, visually, it's fucking incredible.
It's great. It's great. It's beautiful.
It's really, really nice. Yeah, I do think, when it's in motion, it falls out a little bit. But like you say, it's one of them things where people can moan about this, or they can just go, it's whatever, and watch the movie. And like, what are they going to do? Like, they can't like Better Call Saul it, where they just accept that he's a man in his 80s that shouldn't be in his 80s.
No,
right? It wouldn't work for
you
this.
Can't do that. No. I think it's great. I think it's genuinely a really good, really exciting opening to the movie. Let's say opening to the movie. It's like fucking 25 minutes or whatever. It goes
I'm
on
so
for-
happy about it. I wanted it to go on for longer.
Yeah, but it is. It genuinely is great. It's just a great, fun adventure. That train ride sequence from start to finish is just so exciting and fun. And it's like, it's just, there's a new like danger point at every turn and stuff. It's a lot of fun. There's a big gun on the train, and like it starts shooting into the train itself.
I love this, right? Because that was the other thing I was kind of concerned about, right? Because I was really hoping that they hadn't lost, you know, what in every Indiana Jones movie has is cool ideas. Mm-hmm. Like you crash into a statue and the head of the statue rolls in, lands on your lap. Like all of these fun little bits that are just often overlooked by people because they're busy trying to get production done as quick as possible. Mm-hmm. I was really worried they wouldn't have these kind of moments, but there are, like you say, there's 3 carriages. Every single carriage, he gets through it doing a different tactic.
Yeah.
That's fun. The train starts shooting in on itself, but not because they spin the gun round, but because the gun gets jammed and the train goes round a bend.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a long... and then there's a bunch of Nazis that are scaling the train, and they just are essentially ducks in a row.
Yeah, they all
getting
just all
shot.
get fucking shot off. It's good stuff. And
It's
this
really
is
good.
And also, this is Indiana Jones during the war as well.
Yeah.
This is like this is stuff we haven't seen really, because all the Indiana Jones movies are before or after the war, depending on Kingdom of Crystal Skull, obviously. But they're all the main ones anyway. They're all like prior to World War II. So like this is kind of new territory, really. I mean, sure, we've had Nazis before. Like this is them in their like, well, I would say at their height, but not really, because it's kind of the tail end of the war, though, isn't it? It's
They've said like Hitler's already lost the war, essentially.
Yeah. So
We're just the Drecks that are left,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Mads Mikkelsen is there. He's like, I'm Mads Mikkelsen.
I think because he's de-aged as well.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because I've stared at Harrison Ford's face for the last couple of weeks, right? But I didn't even. It took me until like halfway through him being in a scene to be like, oh, he's been de-aged as well.
Yeah. Like you don't really recognize. I think Mads has got quite a youthful face anyway. He's got.
Yeah, true.
He's not Harrison Ford. He's not as old as Harrison Ford, but he's not like, he doesn't have as many fucking lines and wrinkles as him. You know.
Yeah, he's not Harrison Ford as everyone has like. When they reach a certain age, you develop the old man nose and ears.
Yeah, it's true.
And Mads Mikkelsen hasn't developed those yet. He's not quite that old.
I think it was a good choice to open with this whole like younger adventure sequence, because you go from that and then it's the stark contrast to old man Indiana Jones, fucking crotchety old neighbor who's like banging on your door with a baseball bat because you're playing music too loud, you know?
Yeah.
It's a real fucking stark contrast. You're like, fuck, this guy is old, man. Like, it really puts it into perspective, which I think is good.
Still ripped.
Still ripped, man. Yeah. I do like that he's just fucking rotting though in that apartment. He's just asleep in front of that TV. You know, he is clearly not having a good day. And then it's the fucking kids next door that wake him up. I was like, hey, don't that music down.
Yeah. It is insane because we've seen his house very, very scarcely, but we've seen his house.
Yeah.
So like,
well, he lives in New York now. You know what New York rent?
I know, but there is still this element of like, what happened, dude? What happened here?
Yeah.
Because he's richer than this.
I know, but maybe he had to give all those museum pieces back he stole or whatever. I don't know.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, he couldn't sell them on the black market. Or whatever.
Exactly. The museum had to get it all back. I don't know.
His knees are too bad to dig from graves anymore.
Sure.
I do like this though. I like this notion that he's you see him kind of open up his divorce papers that are, I guess, soon to be finalized.
I saw that. I was like, oh, no, I don't like this. I want Marion.
Especially because you like the 5 hours ago before you seeing this, you'd watched him get happily married.
Exactly. Not even.
Yeah.
A few hours earlier, I was like, fuck yeah, they're married. They're gonna live together happily ever after. It's all gonna be fine. Spoiler alert, it was not fine.
No, that's a big point of contention for some people. They were pissed off that it undid all the, because people love the ending of the Crystal Skull because it's
No,
that
they
amazing.
don't.
No, not the.
No one is out here going, they love the ending of the Crystal Skull.
No, they hate the aliens. They love how he ends up with Marion. He takes the hat off Shia LaBeouf and is like, my fucking hat.
Yeah.
Idiot. They love that specific shot.
Okay.
Because he gets his hat, and that people have to remember that's where he ended for a lot of people. A lot of people thought that was the last Indiana Jones they were ever going to get.
Well, they're wrong.
They are wrong. There's
Disney
proof.
bought the franchise, so there's money to be made, guys.
It's true. Silly us. What do you think about? Because people were fucked off. They undid all of that. What do you think about him kind of making him a jaded old man now?
He was always going to be a jaded old man. There's fucking Indiana Jones / Harrison Ford. Come on, they're one and the same. Second of all, no, I don't necessarily see it as undoing. I see it as life and character development, okay? Because fucking you can get married and sure, if everyone else stops watching your life, then that's happily ever after and that's exactly how it is. And if you never speak to anyone again, that's how they will remember it for the rest of time. But that's not life, okay? It doesn't just end there and then no one ever thinks about it again. You go on, you live a life, you have problems, you have struggles, fucking things happen. And we learn in this movie quite a lot of fucking horrible things happen. And I think it's quite fair, the struggles they had, okay? And it makes sense to me what happened, really.
And this is the thing, right? I know he's lost friends before. Right. Firstly, the scene ripped the Band-Aid off, right? We just spoke about it last week in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but we alluded to him potentially not being in this one, which would be strange given that he is the son of the main character.
I got a bone to pick with you about this as well, because the way you set this up, all right, the way you said, just you wait until you see this scene. You had me thinking it was going to be the most ridiculous, stupid, out of context, funny moment. Like, my son went into the war and that was it. Not the most heartbreaking, fucking emotional roller coaster ever. I was watching this like, oh my, that is genuinely heartbreaking and sad.
Yeah.
You're a fucking idiot.
I find it within context of who Shia LaBeouf is. I find it funny in that sense that they went, we got to get this guy out of here. Like,
I don't. I did not think of that at all. I was literally only thinking about the character, and it was heartbreaker, especially because of Harrison Ford's performance in that moment.
It's an incredible scene. It's very. I like how reflective it is. I like how he's done being cheeky, and he's not a silly guy. He's more like Phoebe Waller-Bridge is like, oh yeah, what would you say? And he's like, just straight up, I would have told him it would have got him killed. And it's like, oh fuck, we're here now. We're down here now.
Yeah. But I think he's lying though. I think he says in that moment he says that it was Marion who couldn't handle the grief and that's what caused, and he didn't know how to console her, and because of that they broke up. But everything in the movie tells me that's the other way around, really.
I agree.
Yeah. I think it's 100% Indy who couldn't handle it, and he just like fucking, I don't know what, he just sunk back into himself, he became a recluse, he pushed everyone away, I don't know what, but he could not handle the grief of that.
Yeah. And look, don't get us wrong, right? The grief is unimaginable, but like you say, everything we've seen in all the prior movies as well, Marion is made of some stern shit.
She is.
Yeah, she didn't bat an eyelid when he was sword fighting across two cars, right? Like last week. So like, this is one of them things. And when she says at the end, when spoiler alert, Marion's back in the apartment and she looks him in the eyes and says, are you back, Indy? And I'm like, oh yeah, it was beautiful. You told a fib. Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And I was very happy to see Marion at the end as well. I was like, yeah, I love this. I want this. This is what I wanted.
Yeah, it was not. I'm glad they didn't end it, because there was a very real moment when I watched this for the first time. I was thinking maybe they're going to leave him in a particular circumstance that he shouldn't be left in.
Yeah, me too. And I'm glad they didn't. I bet dudes hate that moment.
I think they hate the notion of the time travel in itself.
See, but for a moment, I was there though. For a moment, when they were like time travel and we're like, oh, we're going back to World War II, I'm like, oh, I don't know. Literally, what did I say in last week's fucking episode? In last week's fucking episode, I literally said, and last week's episode was like 2 days ago for us, by the way. But like, I literally fucking said, it's like if Indiana Jones had a TARDIS, which he should never have, okay? You must have been giggling to yourself like a little fucking idiot. All right, I didn't know this movie was about time travel. I had no fucking idea that time
you
travel
really
was.
not?
No fucking clue that time travel was even a concept of this movie. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, so when they started fucking going into all this, and then Mads Mikkelsen was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go back and fucking be Hitler but better" or whatever, and all this kind of stuff, I was like, "Oh, yeah, I don't know." And then they fly through the port, and I'm like, "Oh, they're in a World War II battle, and it's like a naval sea battle in World War II. Time traveler." But then it's like, trick. This is Assassin's Creed Odyssey, actually. Okay, this is actually ancient Greece. I'm like, oh. Okay,
Wait,
that's pretty fucking interesting then, actually.
Yeah, wow, you did well not to get this spoiled for you. This was 2023. This was all over the shop, right? This was a big discourse thing that everyone was moaning or cheering about. I like it because it's not time travel. It's maths travel. It's not.
I mean, yeah, there's time travel. They do physically travel in time. Okay.
Yeah, but it's very confined. You can only go here. And it
can you?
Yeah, because it's the closed loop situation. That's what Archimedes says at the end. He said you were always coming here.
I don't speak Greek.
No, nor do I. But that's why there were subtitles, so I was quite happy about that.
Okay, great.
No, I really like the concept. I think it's. I mean, we'll circle back around when it gets to the ending. There's plenty more to talk about in between. Were you a bit tired of like it's Nazis again? We're doing Nazis again.
No.
Yeah.
Of course not. It's Indiana Jones. Yeah. You get the Nazis.
Give him some Nazis to punch.
Yeah. All the best Indiana Jones movie have Nazis in them. All the bad ones don't.
Yeah.
Okay?
That checks out. Yeah. That's actually true.
There you go. See? There you go.
I like the Nazis a lot, right? Because we've spoken across the weeks about how every time they appear, they're dumb. And that's great, right? Nazis should always be dumb. Mm-hmm. But this movie does something interesting where it kind of flips the script a little bit and goes, but what if a Nazi was... It kind of doubles back at the end, but it goes, but what if a Nazi was smart? And then that makes them even more dangerous.
This is a smart Nazi. And he's got help from Boyd Holbrook, who's a Nazi, and also a CGI man.
Right, what's going on with this fella?
I don't know. What is going on with this absolute mountain of a man who is CGI, but not always? Okay, I don't understand.
He's fucking enormous.
I don't know. Did they just like take a normal guy and just make him bigger or something? I don't know what's going on, but like there are clearly moments where he is clearly CGI.
I think so, and I also think with the moments where he's not, I think he's padded. I'm glad they didn't fist fight because he would have murdered him.
Oh, he would have killed him immediately.
He's really for how much they ferry this big guy around. They don't use him a lot for his strength.
His
biggest action sequence is against a 15-year-old boy who he doesn't get to punch.
Yeah, it's true. But he is a fucking mountain of a man. But I don't know. I couldn't work it out. I'm like, is he fully CGI? Yeah. What's going on?
I thought back to well, maybe Boyd Holbrook is just kind of small. And then I thought back to Logan and I'm like, no, he's fairly tall.
What's going on with Boyd Holbrook? Why is he in Nazi?
I like this because I like the idea.
Why is he getting on the full uniform and then speaking German at the end? What's going on?
I think he's just one of these weird freaks that have been kind of indoctrinated into this set of ideals. Right, because what I like about his character is he's clearly just an angry guy because he wants to shoot everyone he meets. Like literally everyone he meets, he's like, even if a witness sees him, he's like, shoot him. And he goes, no one can see us manhandling Indiana Jones, so shoot that taxi driver. And then he walks out into a public parade, still manhandling Indiana Jones. I'm like, you just wanted to shoot that taxi driver. But I like the idea that he's kind of just been indoctrinated into this because it's an outlet for him to shoot people. And it seems fun. I mean, like, what incel doesn't dream of being a Nazi in their prime?
It's what they all want.
It's the ultimate situation for them, isn't it?
Yeah. I tell you what I did like. I like when Fleabag showed up. I was like, hey, I'm Fleabag, remember me? And classic Indiana Jones, a character we've never seen before, having a lifelong relationship with Indiana Jones. That's just the series at this point. So I like that. And then they like go to the fucking Indy's little museum archive thing or whatever, and they look at the time travel thing or whatever the fuck it is, and then like she steals it and fucks off. But then like the Nazis show up and like it's clearly been a while for Indiana Jones to get into a situation, and he's clearly like out of his element. He's just like a fucking, like a confused animal. Like, what's going on? I don't know how to deal with this. So he just pushes over a bookcase and runs away.
I like that at first. Before he even gets to that point, he just runs up the stairs to the door he knows is locked and just kind of stands there like,
yeah,
maybe it will. Like, I've always got lucky in the past. That is very fun. What do you make of? So the character is called Helena, but she goes by Wombat. What do you make of Phoebe Waller-Bridge in this?
She doesn't go by Wombat.
No, Indiana Jones calls her Wombat. Yeah.
Yeah. I like her. I like Fleabag. She's good.
Is this your bit? You're never gonna call her name.
It's Fleabag.
I like Fleabag.
I like Fleabag. No, she's good. I think she's a good addition to the movie. Really, she's a good a good counterpoint to him. And also, she sucks. She's pretty horrible throughout the movie. She's always like, I'm gonna take it and sell it for myself. Actually, so
I like that she's essentially just him. When he was his age, when he was her age, and like Harrison,
I don't think he was as he didn't suck as bad as that.
He maybe didn't suck as bad as this, but he definitely was in it for the fortune and glory, and like he kind of just was like not happy. He didn't dick over as many people, but he was definitely happy to run away from someone getting murdered.
Oh yeah, but he wasn't so much about his own fortune and glory. He was more so like. I mean, his whole thing was, it belongs in a museum.
Yeah, and I think they get that out of him twice in this movie. I like that it was kind of a taste of Indiana Jones as an old man, like almost being reminded of like, God, I was a prick when I was this age.
Did you like him teaching a class, but clearly he's not as charismatic as he was in his youth anymore.
And no one fancies him, so that's something's missing.
Yeah, all the kids aren't listening to him. Then they wheel in a TV and he's like, I don't understand what this is. And then they throw him a party for his retirement and he's like, I hate all of you, but thanks, I guess.
He sees his colleagues later on have been murdered and he's just like, huh. Well, this is a shame.
Anyway, he gets a horse, Lawrence.
Right.
He steals a horse and he runs it through the street of New York City. It's good stuff. I'll tell you what, though, before we talk about that horse, why don't we go for an ad break?
Okay.
Anyway, we're back from the ads. What a beautiful set of ads, which we endorse.
Unless we don't. Are we allowed to say we don't?
No, yeah, I'll say it. I don't care. Skip through them. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, yeah, but what if they take our money back?
No, we still get paid either way. Fuck them.
Okay. Buy them or don't. Do you know what? You're an adult. You
know what?
Choice.
Don't buy them. That's what I say.
No.
Fuck those ads.
Fuck's sake. There's me genuinely concerned now. The horse sequence. Did you notice that most of the action sequences in this are chase sequences?
Oh, I didn't until you just mentioned it. But
yeah, because he's not up to his prime of punching people anymore.
Yeah,
which I get.
But he still gets a few punches in, doesn't he?
He does. Towards the end, he's definitely swinging more than fighting, than driving around or whatever. But I don't like this horse chase.
You don't like it?
I think it is.
This is fun. This is good fun. He gets a horse. He runs through the street. He goes on the subway, Lawrence, with a horse.
I know.
What's not to like about a horse almost being destroyed by a train?
Also, that horse is like the bravest horse ever. Do you know how many times that horse should have bucked you off?
Horses are brave, mate. They're
not
brave
this parade
boys.
Horse.
They're brave, beautiful boys. It's not a parade horse. It's a police horse.
Oh, it is a police horse. Yeah,
they go into riots and everything. So
fuck. All right, fair enough.
It can handle a train, Lawrence.
Can it?
Yeah.
Let's put that to the test.
I'm sure it's like, you didn't like this?
Right. It's not that I didn't like it. It's just that watching it, I was like, this looks really bad.
Oh, you're boring, man.
There's so
boring.
many instances where you can see this is a stuntman wearing a rubber face.
Who cares, man? It's so boring. There's so many instances when you can see it's not fucking Harrison Ford on a tank in Last Crusade. Yeah. Who cares?
Yeah, right. Here's where it difference, because I know I can come across as hypocritical when it's a movie I like more.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
But firstly, I do really like this, obviously, but the reason Last Crusade gets a pass is because yes, definitely visible shots where it's a stuntman and not Harrison Ford, but real tank, real road.
It's not a real horse.
Yeah, yes, it's a real horse. Can you imagine it with PNG horse?
Is it not a real road?
This is the most blatant case of we're on a studio set. Right, it's just the extras are like doubled over and over again, and I don't normally care about this kind of stuff, but it's really apparent in this scene. I don't know why it's so. To me, it's stuck out like a sore thumb that everything in this is artificial. The buildings are all fake. Everything's fake.
Didn't to me.
I mean, fair.
It looks like a man riding a horse through the streets of New York.
Maybe because I noticed it a little bit when I first watched it, and then I watched it obviously again today, and I was waiting for this. So maybe it stuck out more because I was actively going, was I right? And looking.
You're an idiot.
No, I know, but there's other stuff as well that I think looks like chase wise, right? What's those little Moroccan mini cars called?
Tuk-tuk.
That's it. There's moments where they're on that, right, and it looks like genuinely quite good, and it's because they're in a real location.
I think the tuk-tuk chase sequence looks worse than the horse chase sequence.
Do you think?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Some close-ups, definitely.
If you'd have told me that was shot in a studio, I'd be like, yeah, 100%.
Really, I felt that location felt more tangible, like, and it was weird because when they got off. And when the tuk-tuk was broken and they had to stand there and they had like these conversations where there was it was so clear that there was just like digital Moroccan insert in the background, and I was like, oh, this looks worse. I preferred it when they were driving around and I couldn't see all the blemishes up close.
No, see, when they were driving around, I was like, this tuk-tuk is going like 150 miles an hour. Like, it doesn't have this sort of speed capability. What the fuck is going on? And then he's like jumping from car to tuk-tuk. He is always jumping from car to car. You know what he's like.
Yeah.
But like, I'm like, come on.
But then later on, he can't handle a wall.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, there are the one thing I do quite like about the action sequences in this is because he's older and because they're limited by what they can put Harrison Ford through. Not just in terms of what he'll do, but there's probably like fucking rules in Hollywood about.
There's be so many rules.
Yeah,
mate.
That definitely weren't there in the early '80s and late '80s.
Yeah.
So I quite like that they have to get a bit more creative. There's some diving. There's a diving sequence in this, which is I really enjoy because it's something that we've never seen him do.
Oh yeah, when Antonio Banderas is
Yeah.
I was like, what?
I am a sailor.
And also maybe he's gay.
It certainly seemed it, didn't it?
Yeah, it seemed to be that he was on that boat with his partner, so I fully support that. I love that. But yeah, I don't know, it was weird for them to just be like, and Antonio Banderas is here. I was like, all right, sure. I'll take Antonio Banderas as some Spanish sailor living in Greece for some reason.
Is it because this is from our era, or like were the people in like Raiders people of the era? Like were people watching it being like, wow, it's John Rhys Davies or whatever?
Well, John Rhys Davies is John Rhys Davies. And he's here. He's like, hello, I'm John Rhys Davies.
Yeah.
I'm still a Welshman playing an Egyptian man in 2024. Or 23, I guess.
I like that he's like, I'm here. Let's take you to the airport. See you later, boss.
No, but he's like, oh, I want to come, Indy. I want to go see the desert. I miss the desert. He's like, shut up.
Yeah, you're not coming.
You're not coming. I'm going.
And he goes, well, in that case, see you later, Indiana Jones.
It was very telling of the time and of the era, being like, sure, you could be wanted for murder and then just board a plane in the 60s. There is no trouble at all with that.
Especially because he's somewhat prolific as well. Like, people know of Indiana Jones in this area. Like, that's fun.
Fucking air travel back then was a different beast altogether. It all changed on that fateful day. You know that one.
I do know the one. No, right, but yeah, Antonio Banderas is there. I do like that he's just a bit part. He shows up, has a set piece, and gets shot, and that's it.
Yeah, no, I like that too. It's well, I don't like that he gets shot. I hate that everyone on that boat just died. That's kind of sad. But I guess that's Indiana Jones' modus operandi, really, isn't it?
Yeah, everyone except Indiana Jones will always die all the time.
Everyone except Indy and his main crew for whoever they are for that particular movie, his lifelong friends, which we've only ever just met.
Yeah,
they will all get killed during. I'll tell you what I just thought of. There was a sequence, just going back briefly to the de-age and stuff, there was a sequence about halfway through the movie where they de-aged him, but it was like sort of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull age. It was like older indie, but like not quite as old as he is today. And I thought that looked great. I thought that looked really good. Maybe because they're not working as hard. Obviously, they're not like smoothing out all those wrinkles. But
Yeah, you can let a few of them slip through. Yeah.
yeah,
I did as well. I liked. It's just one of them things that you think, God, this is crazy. That people probably agonized over how many grey hairs he should have, and like, it's incredible work. It's almost certainly ILM, right, that did this.
oh, it definitely will be. Yeah,
With Lucasfilm and Disney, I'd be amazed if it wasn't.
Yeah.
But and that's why this film costs so much, right? Because that shit is fucking expensive as hell. Like, I read somewhere, I don't know how true this is, but a reported 79 million on de-aging technology alone.
That's a lot. That's a lot of money.
It's way too much money.
That is probably too much money for the like half an hour in total you probably get, but
I would also be inclined to say it's the best half an hour of the movie, I think.
Good half an hour. I don't know. I like it as a whole.
No, I do. I do. I think it. I do think it slows down in the middle, but
I'll tell you what I don't like. He's got his tie on again. What's he doing?
no, it's a good outfit, man.
No, I don't. I know he's older now, and sure, it's more appropriate, I guess, for the older gentleman. But you still got to go open collar. It's still the best indie look. Well, this tie bullshit.
I get what you're saying, but I think he's grown into it more. I think it was distinguished then, and now it's even more distinguished. I think he looks great.
It looks better once he gets rid of it, and he's just an old guy, open collar, just letting that chest hair breathe. You know.
I don't disagree, but I think that the open collar is a young man's game. That's my take.
He's young at heart, Lawrence.
He's not. He's really old and depressed at heart at this one.
Apparently, this big guy was in Black Widow. Who did we play in Black Widow?
Almost certainly one of the goons that she has to beat up, and is slightly harder than the other goons.
Someone called Ursa, whoever that is.
You know, in Assassin's Creed, there's the small guys and the big guys.
Yeah, the brutes.
Yeah, he's just the movie version of that. They get him in when they need a brute.
In The King's Man, he played a character called Huge Machine's Shack Guard. So,
Huge machine.
so there you go.
Incredible. I love it. Do you reckon all of his call sheets, his character is always called Huge someone?
Maybe.
Just that guy, that enormous guy that we've seen about.
He's
set.
fucking 7'2", mate.
Fucking hell. Well, so
That's
like
his
legit.
real height. He's 7'2", yeah. He's a Ursa Major. Oh wait, no. Oh wait, yeah, no. The Dutch giant barely does justice to his 7'2" stature.
Jesus
Fucking
Christ.
hell.
What do you make of all the diving stuff? Right? I was saying this is a scenario we're unfamiliar seeing Indiana Jones in.
I tell you what I like. I like that just before they go into the sea for the dive, they're like, there's eels in there, so watch out. And Indy's like, eels, because they're the snakes of the sea.
The logic works out, doesn't it? Like,
And they show up round 2 is like, yeah, they're kind of like snakes, and it's like, no, they're not.
yeah, no, they're not. Fucking Phoebe Waller-Bridge has to give him some brandy to get him down.
Yeah.
Go and have a bit of this. I really like this is because you're seeing they do quite a few cool things, right? They put the timer on for 3 minutes, right? They're like, you got to get in and out, get done in 3 minutes. Don't stay down there for longer. I like the makeshift of the era breathing apparatus for the diving equipment. It's just like
It's a big long fucking snorkel, really, isn't it?
yeah, but it's also like when you see them kind of go down, they're just botched together with tape. Like, there's so many instances that you should not be doing this.
Yeah, at all.
And I like that when they're down there, they get out of the kind of the eel trouble, only to look up and just see the silhouette of a boat that's just boarded right next to them. And you're like, this is a really interesting way to present action and stakes without forcing an 80-year-old man to pretend he's still 30. Like,
Yeah.
I thought that was just a really clever way of doing it.
It was good. And he got attacked by all those eels.
It's so the eels, right? Look, it's a digital soup down there, right? There's not a single real thing happening,
No, of course not.
but it looks fun. And
you can't go underwater.
but no, that's not true.
You can't take a camera underwater.
Oh yes, my mistake.
exactly.
No, it was a good sequence, and I do like that. Phoebe Waller-Bridge kind of gets them out of it by just spinning the wheels like Indiana Jones used to. Like
Yeah.
she just kind of goes, "I'll go along with this," and he's like, "You can't. That's immoral." And she's like, "Will you shut the fuck up? I'm obviously trying a plan."
I didn't understand how like that one guy they like cut off his breathing tube, and that just meant that suddenly he couldn't swim and he was falling. No, I didn't just really understand that.
Yeah, I maybe it's something to do with like smart people that are smarter than me will surely know this, but like maybe there's pressure or something. Like maybe the
I
pressure
mean, there's
makes
pressure
them.
regardless, though, isn't it?
No, but it might make because he wasn't in the little reef bit. He was like in the thick.
He was
of
on
it.
the little rim.
Yeah, so I'm thinking
Whatever.
maybe because like if you're on safely on the rim, the furthest you can go is down, and that you're touching the
think-
ground.
I think you're making yourself sound more stupid.
Maybe, but look, all I'm saying is they cut his thing and he's sunk. So
Yeah.
take it that what
But
you
I'm
will.
saying, I don't understand why that is.
I'm trying
And
to.
you also don't understand why, but you're trying to make up a reason as to why, whilst also making it clear that you definitely don't understand why.
Nathan, in this movie, they say that proving something is what makes it science, and I saw it proven, and therefore it is science, and I can understand that.
Sure. Anyway, Fleabag blows up the boat.
Yeah, I like that. That dynamite takes a while to go off.
Yeah, it's dynamite.
Yeah, I know, but the way she throws it and then everyone just looks at it for a second is quite funny. They're like, "You just throw dynamite. You're on this boat as well."
Yeah, but then they jump onto the other boat,
That is handy.
so it's fine.
Yeah, I do like they just swap boats essentially, which is quite fun. The villains definitely. There is a case of teleporting villains in this. They kind of just get wherever they need to be immediately
Yeah.
after.
Yeah, they're like, we're here too now. Like, oh,
Yeah,
all right.
you had no idea
We're
where
gonna
we were going, but sure.
Yeah, we're gonna steal your little boy. Actually,
Yeah, well, I don't know why.
Mads Mikkelsen knew you were going east or west or whichever way it was because he saw you with some binoculars. So
I like. Do you reckon they
Sure.
just had to like just steadily follow behind them, but like never crossing over the horizon line? Like, let's just stay out of sight.
well, could they? Wasn't the boat damaged?
Um,
I mean, it took a dynamite to it, so
yeah, but maybe it was still somewhat seaworthy. I mean, unless they swam, that's the only way they did it.
I don't know.
So,
Maybe they just called another boat.
Oh yeah, maybe they do. Oh no, but they'd cut off the CIA at this point. They were working on their own.
Yeah, but he's got Nazi money.
I do like that the Nazis built the moon landing rocket though.
Yeah, but that's true though. That's real.
It's pretty insane, isn't it? That they,
He's like based off a real guy. He's like there was a lot of German scientists who did work on the moon program. It's actually a big plot point in the Joel Kinnaman on the Moon show as well.
oh, is it? Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Joel Kinnaman on the moon. How many seasons of that is there now?
4 complete, and the 5th is on the way. The 5th will be set in the years 2010 to 2020.
Fucking hell, they must be spending a fortune on aging him up.
I don't think it'll be in the next series.
Oh, I see. I see.
But he looks pretty old in the last one.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Should we get into kind of the ending of this, because there's a lot of stuff that's kind of quickly revealed.
Yeah, so it's time travel. First of all, Short Round 2 kills that mountain of a man, which I enjoy.
In a really cool way.
He just locks him to an underwater gate and says, drown, bitch,
Yeah.
see you later.
And earlier on in the movie, he was like, I can't swim. I'm like, I think you got some tricks up your sleeve, mate.
It's good, I like it.
I do too. Watching this a second time round, I was able to kind of quell my criticism about one particular thing. But as a first time watcher, how did it feel that you didn't really know what the villain was trying to do until the final half an hour?
Didn't bother me too much because I knew he was after a thing,
Yeah, okay.
and that's really all I need, to be honest.
That's Indiana Jones, to be honest.
Yeah, that's Indiana Jones. He's just after a thing. It's probably some sort of Nazi relic, or we've already seen it. We know he's like, he mentioned earlier when he was young, Mads Mikkelsen, he was like, oh, this is actually more important or whatever.
Yeah.
So we know it's of somewhat importance. What the actual importance is, I mean, they've mentioned they've mentioned at some points time travel, so it's vaguely something to do with that. So you can piece things together, but yeah, it's never flat revealed until the end. But yeah, I'm fine with that.
I liked it more on the second go round because there are these little moments where once you've seen it, and the ending is quite memorable, so you pick up on a lot more kind of things. He says a lot of the time, whenever he parts ways with Indiana Jones, he's like, "See you in the past," and like I guess when you watch it for the first time, you kind of just that's alluding to him being like, "Oh yeah, because we're both old bastards that can't really let off heydays go." And then he says something to like a guy that like a waiter that brings him his room service. He says, you know, you didn't win the war, Hitler lost it, and like he's very clearly just, and like he in the opening sequence, he's like, this is important. Like Hitler's like he could fix something if he listened to me, and they're like shut up, we're doing something. And there's a lot of instances where he's like obviously cleverer than he's allowed to be, than his rank kind of lets him be.
When he was with that guy in the hotel room, I just thought he was being a horrible racist Nazi.
Yeah, I mean, but he is as well.
He is. Yeah.
But I do like that it's so petty and very in character of a Nazi to like even just a waiter that you meet, you're like, yeah, well, what if you didn't win the war, huh? What about that?
Well, I think it's quite important that the waiter is black, and then he asks him, "Where are you from?" No, where are you really? Where are your people from? Like, come on, man, what a fucking
dickhead thing to say. Yeah. I like that he has that line that, you know, like, are you enjoying your victory? Not our victory. It's like,
yeah,
dude. Come on.
Yeah.
All right. What do you make of? We can talk about the time travel somewhat separately, but like, what do you think of the villain's motivation and plan?
It's fine. Makes sense.
Yeah, I want to go back and be mega Hitler.
Yeah, he's a big Nazi. Of course, he he wants to do Nazi stuff. You know.
Yeah, but he wants
Nazis.
Well, it's not very Nazi-ish to kill Hitler, and that's what his plan is.
Well, I would argue it's more Nazi because like it's believing in the idea, not the guy. It's believing in the actual idea of Nazism and not the poster boy of it, you know?
Yeah.
So I would say it's kind of even more fucked up, really.
It's like supporting Labour and then looking at Keir Starmer and being like, fucking idiot. Yeah.
I'm voting for the Greens this time, I decided.
No, okay. What, legit?
Yeah.
Blood
legit.
sharing his vote.
It won't mean anything because I live in a pretty safe Labour seat anyway.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of guess I am a little bit privileged in that sense, in that I don't necessarily have to vote for Labour.
Yeah.
But just because I don't think I can vote for Labour really, just because they're fucking fucked basically.
Yeah,
they've a fuckhead.
They've conservativized themselves.
100%. Yeah,
which is a shame.
Their fucking Keir Starmer keeps mentioning, you know, he's changed the Labour Party, and fucking boy, he's not wrong.
Yeah, in a worse
way. Yeah, he definitely has. And, you know, and a lot of the Labour's marketing campaign is like, oh, look at all these people who used to vote Conservative for their entire life. Now they're voting Labour. Maybe that's not a good thing, guys, you know? Maybe it's not a good thing that these lifelong racist conservatives now feel comfortable voting Labour, okay?
Maybe their ideals changing is less about their ideals changing and more about yours. Like,
yeah.
I mean, look, that's politics for you guys, hey?
That's politics, yeah.
Go and vote. Make an informed decision. It's good fun. Exercise your right.
Back to the Nazis time travel.
Yes. No, I think this is what I was saying earlier, right? I like that the finale to the franchise is essentially like, you've had the dumb Nazis. Now prepare for the smart Nazi. Just kidding. He's also a dumb Nazi.
He's not dumb though, is he?
Well, he doesn't figure out the continental drift that fucks him up.
He gets the calculation wrong. But does the continental drift even matter though? Because if you're saying if it's always going to end up this way, then like, does that even matter?
I think it was built like he doesn't say it was always going to go through this hole. I think it's very not fleshed out. They don't explain a lot of it.
Yeah, but if they're always going to go through this hole, then what does the continental drift matter? Because there's no coordinates that they could figure out which would get them to 1939 or wherever they want to go.
No, but it's more the fact that he swears blind it will get them there, and he hasn't considered it. Like, it's not he can't work the machine properly. It's that he didn't work out the machine doesn't work like that, which I quite...
Well, he's an idiot.
Well, yeah, he's a Nazi idiot. He's a dumb boy.
He's a dumb Nazi. Yeah. I do like the before they go back to Nazi Germany, they're like, let's all let's all dress up, boys. Let's all put on our little uniforms and let's get in this World War II era plane as well. So they don't think we're a mysterious dragon and shoot us out of the sky. I'm sure that won't happen.
I asked myself at one point watching this, like, he's going to meet his associates from the time.
Yeah.
Are they not going to be like, fuck, you've aged like 20 years, mate.
Fuck happened to you?
You had a rough weekend?
No, I think he looks mostly the same. He's fine.
That's why I didn't notice his de-aging. So there you go.
Or you can say he's his dad or whatever.
Oh, his dad.
He can just add a senior to the end of his name.
Yeah,
you know?
I guess so. Yeah.
I'm Colonel whatever his fucking name, Hans Schmidt Senior.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is.
He has an overly German name, which he then disguises by calling himself Schmidt.
Yeah, a famously non-German, non-Nazi sounding name. Oh, Schmidt. Oh, yeah, that sounds normal.
And he never disguises his German accent, not even for a second.
Yeah. It is funny, that reveal, because he goes, my name is not Hans Schmidt. My name is this other, I can't even remember what it was, but it's just this other German Nazi sounding name. Like, they sound the exact same, bro.
My name is not Hans Schmidt. It's Schmidt Hans, and I'm a Nazi.
Okay. Interesting. Wow.
This has changed so much. All right.
Anyway, they go back to ancient Greece, Lawrence.
Oh, dude.
What a twist. What a reveal.
What was going through your head when you saw this? Because you obviously, if you knew nothing about it, this must have been a pretty out of left field ending.
See, this is where I was like, what the fuck? This is insane. Because, like, I was like apprehensive about the World War II time travel, because then I thought, there's gonna be a young Indy and he's gonna team up with old Indy and they're gonna punch Hitler together or some shit. I thought it'd be something dumb like that, and I was like, I don't want to see any of this. This is gonna be rough, you know. And then they'll have young Indy shake old Indy's hand and they'll say, "Hey, don't mention this, kid." And he's like, "Hey, yeah, I won, kid."
Indiana Jones and the multiverse of the Third Reich.
Yeah, exactly. And then they'll all shake their whips at each other and whatever. I thought it was going to be some dumb shit like that, and thank fuck it wasn't. Because, like, you see, like, the naval battle from, like, quite a distance at first, so you can't quite make out what it is. So I thought, like, it's like some World War II fucking Normandy shit or whatever. I don't know. It's like fucking submarine shit.
It's the Raiders of the Lost Ark submarine.
Yeah, exactly. But then when they fucking fly in closer and you can see those Greek and those Spartan and Athenian ships, I'm like, fuck, this is interesting. This is different. Yes, I like this. They've gone back like fucking 2,000 years, man. This is exciting. Cassandra is down there.
She's down there somewhere.
She's down there fighting for whichever side will pay her more. I like it.
I think Cassandra in her suit in the tomb in modern day, and Indiana Jones traveling back.
Her lesbian suit, as you call it.
It is her lesbian. She's in a lesbian suit.
Okay.
And it's canon. You can play her as a lesbian if you so wish.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, and I think a goat at one point. I think you can have sex with a goat.
There is a goat. I don't think you. Well, there's a goat involved in some sexual scenario. Yes, there is.
It's all behind closed doors. You never quite see.
Yeah, that's ancient Greece for you, man.
Just goats.
Yeah. There's a llama involved in. I think it's a llama or an alpaca or something involved in numerous sexual situations in Gen V.
Horrendous.
So there you go.
That's an awful endorsement of the show.
There you go.
But then again, The Boys is pretty good, and there's a load of octopus sex.
Well, there you go. Exactly. You love it.
Yeah. Okay, hang on.
So, you see, you remember Translucent?
Yes.
Yeah, Translucent Sun is the school, and he's like an invisible boy, and he's always like being dragged behind the llama wearing like BDSM bondage gear and stuff. So,
for Christ's sake, why?
He's a weird freak. He's a weird. You know what everyone's like in the Boys universe? They're gonna have a weird sexual kink.
Yeah, but I saw his son at the funeral for Translucent in The Boys, and I'm like, this is a fairly normal-looking young man.
No, you don't see him. He's pretty much always invisible. You see you see like a hat and a pair of glasses. That's what you see pretty much.
Did they cast someone?
There is one moment when you see him. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, easiest payday for that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ending of this I think it's so interesting, right? It's the perfect. This is kind of what I mean about it being a legacy sequel and dealing with the past, right? Because for a man that's stuck in the past, metaphorically, it sure is interesting to physically put him in a scenario where he could commit the rest of his life to the past and his obsession with it. Which I think is really, really cool. Like he's kind of like, I don't know, he lives in denial that he could be happy in his own life because he lost his son and his marriage has fallen into a shambles. And it takes Phoebe Waller-Bridge punching him and like bringing him back, which is like, I don't know, for me it kind of ties in with like how age is forced upon him. Do you know what I mean? Like the world has left him behind. He's kind of a relic of, like, no one's interested in the past. They're all living the history now. Like they're alive for the moon landing. That they know that's their own history. No one cares about what's going on in yesteryear. They care about the future. And I just think there's something really interesting about that not being his choice, that he's being left behind, and then also Phoebe Waller-Bridge punching him and forcing him out of this stupid obsession that he has. Like he's actively choosing to die a slow and painful death in ancient Greece rather than go and fix his marriage.
Well, that's it. He's not choosing to live here because this is what he wants. He's choosing to stay because he's still running away from all his problems and stuff. He's running away from his life and everything else, and that's the real thing. And also will maybe fuck up the entirety of history as well. So, like,
but I think that speaks to his mental state, right? Because how much is he? It belongs in a museum. He respects history, and he's willing to completely fucking collapse it.
I do like that he gets there and is like, yeah, I'm done. Just fucking leave me here. Just let me stay. I want to hang out with these dudes. Look, they will probably kill me the moment I step foot on that castle or whatever, but sure, I'll hang out in Greece for the next hour or whatever. And then fucking Fleabag is like, no, you're a fucking idiot. You can't do this. You will fuck up the entirety of time and space and relative dimensions and all this, and I'm going to punch you, actually. So she does. I like it. I like that. I like the moment where she just fucking clogs him as well.
I do too. It looks fucking painful.
Yeah. It clearly was. It knocked him out for like fucking 3 weeks or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I like it, and I think they treat it with the amount of respect that this is right. This is so, and this is what I was concerned about again when I saw they were going back in time. I thought, oh god, I didn't think it was going to go as far as to the extent of like a young Indiana Jones and old Indiana Jones team up, but I definitely thought
they were going to punch Hitler together.
Well, I thought they were going to like run wild.
I thought what would happen was that young Indiana Jones and old Indiana Jones would get in a sword fight with Hitler, and then they'd both pull out their guns and just shoot him together.
And old Indiana Jones tosses the young Indiana Jones a slightly more futuristic gun, and he's like, "Don't tell anyone."
Exactly. And then old Indiana Jones gives young Indiana Jones his hat and his whip, but then young Indiana Jones gives old Indiana Jones his hat and his whip. He's like, hey, let's swap.
And it's a full circle moment to the guy in The Last Crusade handing over his hat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, I was concerned they were going to kind of let him run rampant a little bit. In ancient Greece, but I like that they respect the history as much as Indiana Jones respects history as a character, right? Like, because he lands there and he's been shot. He doesn't step 2 paces.
Oh yeah, he's been shot as well. Yeah,
he gets shot. Yeah, but I like that him being there. Like, yeah, dude, you can be here for 2 minutes, and that is the experience of your life.
Yeah.
Right, like, but you're going back, and I think that's interesting. I like that it ends with this kind of message of this is his dream. He's probably spent his entire life obsessing over this, and to see this and to live this and experience this in the flesh, right? It doesn't come half as close to being as enriching as reconciling with your wife and giving her a little kiss in your kitchen. And I think that's a really, really beautiful message.
And the Greeks kill those Nazis.
They do. Yeah. Right. People, that's another thing as well. People moan about Phoebe Waller-Bridge. She punched Indiana Jones.
So she
Indiana Jones, yeah. Also, he's 1,000,000 years old.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be very easy to knock out an 80-year-old man.
She absolutely should have punched him. He's been an idiot. She was right to punch him.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd punch him too. I'll punch him now. I'll punch him when he wakes up from his bed.
Yeah. And that was for being an idiot.
Yeah.
And then another one. And where's Short Round?
Where is Short Round?
Right. I don't know if you remember this, but about a year ago, you kind of asked me if this was like a good movie, and you were like, "How's it going?" And that this was kind of the renaissance of Ke Huy Quan was still being talked about with Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like,
Yeah,
he
but that was
still
obviously
kind of-
after this movie was shot, though, so wasn't
No.
expecting him to be in it. Though.
I wasn't either,
Mm-hmm.
but my God, isn't it so annoying that if this movie had come out a year later,
There would have been at least a little cameo or something. They probably could have filmed a cameo.
I think they could have done it, but I think it would have been really interesting because he would have been like a man in his 50s.
Yeah, they Marion and Indy just adopted 50-year-old show around.
And he still speaks like he still goes, "You're my best friend, Indiana Jones. I love you."
Yeah. Hey, Indy.
Dr. Jones.
He's still copying him.
Yeah.
Still-
Marion kisses him and he's like, "Give him a kiss, doll."
He puts on the hat and everything. It's good stuff.
That's another. The ending shot. I like they Looney Tunes in on the hat, but then he whisks the hat away. He hasn't hung up his hat. He's ready for the next adventure, which is marriage and life.
Yes. There will be no next adventure that we see.
No, but
yes,
I like the idea that this is the next chapter in his life, and he's still Indiana Jones.
Yeah. I like it a lot. It's different to all the other Indiana Jones endings. Really, usually we get like just an extended sequence of something whilst the credits roll over it. But here it's a definitive Fade to Black. It's an ending of sorts.
It is,
It's not
yeah.
just a continuation. So yeah, I like that.
I do too. There was a few kind of structural changes last week. You'd obviously noticed it. I hadn't. Was the that they always blend?
Oh, the Paramount.
Yeah, they always blend that into the hills. But
I was surprised to see the Paramount logo though. I thought it was just going to be Lucasfilm. That's it, because that's what they do with Star Wars. There's no Fox logo in Star Wars anymore.
oh, of course there isn't. Yeah, huh?
So like, I was surprised to see that. Maybe there's still, I don't know the full extent of the deal. Maybe there's still something going on.
Well,
there,
they
but-
they conceptualized this. This was a COVID delay, so maybe there was a lot of crossover in terms of teams that worked on this before the acquisition and stuff.
But Disney put Lucasfilm in 2012 though.
Oh, that is true. Yeah.
So
It felt weird when I saw it said Disney and Lucasfilm present in the Indiana Jones
Yeah.
font, and I was like,
yeah.
odd.
Yeah. So yeah, there's no Paramount Hill into a thing, but it does go into a lock though. Like the Lucasfilm does go into a lock.
It does, yeah, which is less interesting than a hill, I think, or a mountain.
It's a lot less interesting. Yeah,
but better than a gopher or a thing or a beaver or whatever the fuck that was.
I don't mind the little gophers.
Nah, there was a lot of them. Too many.
There wasn't too many.
There was
like-
multiple shots.
Yeah, but all of which amounts to probably about 5 seconds of screen time in total.
Nah, trim it down. Cut it out.
I don't think there's anything wrong with having a little gopher on screen.
In lieu of, I've decided I've retired. No One Frames a Shot Like Steven Spielberg. One, because it wouldn't have been him, but also,
We did make the movie.
well, no, he didn't. But also, James Mangold didn't impress me enough with his camera work to warrant a section.
Brutal. Burn on you, James Mangold.
Yeah.
What a hack.
No, he's good. I like him. He's good. I just
Never
don't.
made anything
No,
good in
he's
his
just
life.
not as visually interesting as Spielberg is. Obviously.
Spielberg isn't as visually interesting as Spielberg
No,
is.
here we go. Ready?
See, I've seen Ready Player
Fuck's
One. Lauren.
sake. All right, and as Indiana Jones is coming to an end, in lieu of No One Frames a Shot, right? Can we replace that with a definitive? And I know you don't like ranking things, but I'm talking specifically in your order of preference. What have you enjoyed most?
I know you don't like ranking things, but just ranking.
No, but I'm not.
But let me explain it in a different way.
I'm not
so it
talking in
sounds
terms of quality. I'm talking in terms of like where are you at with all of these?
All right, here we go. No, should I go top to bottom or bottom to top?
Go bottom to top so we can have a little intro.
Bottom to top. All right, flat out last place, absolute dog shit.
Yep.
Fucking horrible experience from start to finish. Temple of Doom.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
Easily the worst one of all 5 of these movies.
Yeah.
Okay. Horrible experience. Coming in at 4th place. Nowhere near as bad as Temple of Doom. Still a good fun time. Just not as good as the others. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
Okay. Coming in at 5th place. No, at 3rd place. I'd say Dial of Destiny.
Yeah.
I'd say Dial of Destiny. It's a good fun time. Had a lot of fun and excitement. Great fun moments. Whatever. 2nd place, Last Crusade. and then first place Raiders.
Okay.
So I'd say.
All right,
Yeah.
interesting. I would go Crystal Skull worst. So in 5th place,
Wrong.
Crystal Skull.
Wrong.
In 4th place, Temple of Doom.
So wrong.
In 3rd place, Dial of Destiny. In 2nd place, Raiders. In 1st place, Last Crusade.
Wrong.
Fair enough.
You only got Dial of Destiny right.
Okay, I mean that's a good placement. I think it's not the
Yeah.
best. It's not the worst by any stretch. I had a really good time with this.
I think it's a good fun time. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's a good final chapter for the character. It's a good ending point. You know, we're not gonna go and see fucking Chris Pratt put on the hat and then be
Oh,
Indiana
Lord.
Jones or whatever. So
I there's a sadness into there being absolute finality to this. But then I also know I'm going to be in my 50s and I'm going to hear a trailer and there's someone young taking it on. They won't retire this forever. They'll retire this until 10 years after Harrison Ford has died, and then they'll bring this back.
I like to think that they will. And that doesn't mean that they can't do a spin-off. Sure.
Yeah.
You want to do The Adventures of Short Round, I'll tune in.
I'll be there for it,
I'll
yeah.
see what goes on. Yeah. But I think the Indiana Jones as a series is done, I think. And I think it should stay done.
I do too. I don't think anyone else can play this character.
No.
Apart from Alden Ehrenreich, of course.
Apart from Alden Ehrenreich, yes. Let's cast Alden Ehrenreich as
Doesn't matter how old he is.
Jones, an Indiana Jones story.
Well, because it's so specifically tied to one era as well, right? Like they can't keep making these.
No, they can't. No.
All right.
The only way they could make it is in a horrible way that no one wants.
Yeah.
Where it's just all a digital Harrison Ford and all that. So no one wants that. Like
No. So like, look, as much as I enjoy the opening of this, I don't want a whole movie of this ever.
No, me neither. No, he was pushing it at 25 minutes.
Yeah,
for that sequence,
and I loved
but,
it.
Like,
But I appreciated the top, which was
yes,
good.
yes.
All right. It's sad. I've really enjoyed going back and watching all of these.
I have too. I've had a bloody good time. I've had a great time. Even what a series of mostly good movies.
I agree, and we're not done with series. We've got pretty much the rest of the year lined up with series.
The whole look, strap the fuck in, guys, because if you want us to get back to just a random one here and there, we'll see you next year.
We've got a back
boy,
catalogue of almost 200. Like,
yeah, it's true.
there's something for
True.
everyone, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, on to the next segment.
And that is recommendations. What we do is we talk. It's going to be tough because we did record 2 days ago.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I got nothing.
Yeah, so I had to struggle for mine, but I did find something that I have watched in between those 2 days. So it can be something that we've watched, read, listened to, or experienced, and that we would like to share with each other and of our lovely listeners. Would you like me to go first, or do you want to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
All right, I think you've almost definitely heard of this person. I'm pretty sure we've even had conversations about it. It's the YouTube channel and person Nakey Jakey.
I've literally never heard of this person in my life.
All right, but have you seen a video called Red Dead Gameplay is outdated with a man on a exercise ball?
Bouncy ball. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I turns out I have heard of this
Everyone has
person.
seen that video.
Yeah. Okay.
No, it's a great channel. He's I don't know. He makes. I haven't checked into all of his stuff because he's a big gamer. He's played a bunch of old games that I've never even heard of. But he has 2 very good videos, both on The Last of Us Part 2 and Red Dead Redemption 2. But I think he's a really, really good creator. He's very fun and very entertaining to watch. And his videos are insanely well edited. I put him on this last couple of days because I was feeling a lack of creative enthusiasm, and I was like, I want to see someone do a really cool edit, and then I think to myself, how can I try and do a really cool edit?
Just copy it.
And no, but yeah, pretty much, yeah. But it got the creative juices flowing. So he's quite an inspiring watch, which sounds stupid, but it's a great channel and it's made really well. And he also did a sequel to the Red Dead video. He like went back and revisited it with a bunch of and was like talking about his experiences going back in and reflecting on stuff he said in that last video and stuff he agreed with and whatever.
What do you say about The Last of Us Part 2?
Yeah, What in general in his first video?
Yeah.
Some of the stuff was too linear, and like the story, he wasn't.
Wrong.
I knew you were gonna do that. Something to the effect of the gameplay is like violence is bad, but kill 1 million people along the way to get there. Like
Wrong.
which there's good points to it. It's a different perspective. I like The Last of Us Part 2, but it is an interesting perspective.
Wrong.
What are you recommending?
That game is perfect and has never done anything wrong ever.
I know you think so. I know.
I am gonna recommend Assassin's Creed: The Secret Crusade, which is a book by Oliver Bowden, and it's kind of the story of the first game of Assassin's Creed as Altair's story, but it also goes like before and after the game as well. So we see like a lot of his life before the game starts, and then his life after, like the scenes from like Revelations and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
It actually starts as Ezio on the ship reading about Altair's life.
Oh, wow.
Which is quite good.
Is there like, do they do the modern stuff? Is there a Desmond crossover, or is it just?
No, it's purely there's no Desmond. The only like Desmond stuff that appears in these books is like in like Assassin's Creed 2 when they have like the moment of like,
Oh, who is this Desmond?
Desmond.
Yeah.
Who is Desmond? Yes.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, but it's purely like the story of the past and what like actually happened and stuff, and it's like a lot more fleshed out than the games are as well, which I really like. I read all the main ones quite a long time ago, like probably about 10 years or so ago, and then I just wanted to reread them again, so I just bought like a big fucking like box of them on Amazon. So.
Is there extended dialogue sequences where Al Mualim is like, I bloody hate free will? Don't read into that.
Probably. I'm sure that's fine. Don't worry about it.
Someone should get this
probably.
rabble pack under control, I reckon.
Yeah.
With an apple.
There's extended sequences where you can't do anything. You just have to stand still while Mualim just talks to you. But then you can move your character around on the spot or whatever.
You can walk right up to his face while he's just monologuing at a wall.
What do you suppose free will means, Altair?
Oh, Lord. You can have that old bastard from the fucking Abstergo facility just fucking moan at you.
Mr. Miles.
Yeah. You should really treat this facility with more respect. I know we kidnapped you and are forcing you to do things, but have some respect. Oh, what a silly thing. Anyway, yeah, Indiana Jones. We have had a good time. I've really enjoyed Indiana
I've had a great
Jones.
time.
Yeah.
I've had a beautiful time, yeah. And I am kind of sad that it's over, really.
Yeah, I know.
But excited that I can now just watch Dial of Destiny whenever I want.
You're no longer beholden to not
I'm no
watching.
longer beholden to this podcast. So I can now, like in a few weeks' time, I can be like, I want to watch Dial of Destiny.
Are you keen to watch it again?
I think I am, yeah. I want to watch that, especially that opening like 25 minutes or whatever. I think I'll be keen to just put that on and just have a good fun, drop into a good fun indie adventure. You know?
I did that when it came out on Disney Plus. I was like, I want to watch that first half an hour or whatever. It's great.
Yeah.
All right.
Good stuff.
Well, cool. Thank you very, very much for listening, everyone. If you have enjoyed the show, then you can leave us a 5-star review if you feel so inclined. That would be very cool. You can also follow
Womp womp.
again. You can also follow us on Twitter at Another Happy Pod, where you can suggest a topic for us to check out. Like I said, we are pretty locked in for this year, but
next year is free as a bird, baby.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be making our way for a whole lot. That's what I decided, by the way. Like in sort of like February time, because I think January is booked up, but like sort of February time or end of January, February, we'll start to make our way through a whole bunch of listener suggestions.
yeah, we
So-
should. We've ignored them long enough.
Yeah, we've ignored them for long enough. So get them in. Let us know. Go to our Twitter. There's a Google form on the pinned tweet at Another Happy Pod, and then fill it in. Let us know what you want to see. And hey, I personally promise you now, we will watch it.
Oh no!
Whatever
no,
it is.
no. I don't promise that. Nathan does.
I put no time frame on that.
Okay, fair enough.
But I will say we will at some point get around to
The
it.
doctor tells you have weeks to live, and you're like, "Fuck! I better get watching those 18 series I put off."
I better watch all of One Piece or whatever.
Also, if you feel so inclined, we have a Ko-Fi link in the show notes if you want to help us with the running of both shows. No pressure. Obviously, everyone is always still welcome to enjoy these episodes for free. And speaking of
For
getting
now.
stuff for free, next week we're going to be doing this.
Everything I've done in my life, I've done for my children. I know I've made mistakes, but I've always tried to do the best by them because I love them.
Have you thought about the possibility that your children are actually scared of you?
Oh, fuck off.
Oh, fuck, it's Succession.
Well, but it's not next week for us.
No, it's true. We have a week off now, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, we do.
We've got a week off, yes. Boy.
Unless we want to get ahead, which, let's be honest, we're not going to get ahead.
No, I
because
think
it's a series of 10 episodes.
I think it's good to have a head start on watching 10 fucking episodes of TV. Suck your lie. It's time to suck you dry.
So, I don't like that you come up with these catchphrases on the spot. Right, yeah, so that's going to be fun. But in the meantime, you can go check out everything else we've recorded.
What's the theme song to Succession? For some reason, in my head, it's like I don't know if there is a theme song or anything, but in my head, it's kind of like the is it the evil Morty theme from Rick and Morty? The dun dun dun. Dun, dun, dun,
It's got a somber feel to it, but it's not Rick and Morty's Evil Morty theme. No, that's a banger theme though.
Well, I'll guess I'll have to find
will.
out when I finally watch At Gunpoint Succession.
Yep, not your lie.
Yeah,
Suck your
Succession.
lie.
Yeah,
It's Nicholas
Succession.
Britell. He does Andor's music.
I don't know who that is.
You do. Andor's got brilliant music. There's a bit where he's
I've never
walking
heard
down a
of Andor.
space fucking street, and it's like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, and it's like little holiday music. It's great.
Space Blackpool.
Space Black. Right, yeah. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next Friday at 10 a.m. This has been Indiana Jones. Nathan, play that John Williams Fire for the last time.
You remembered.